Hey guys! Alright, so I have been asked a ton of times how I do my makeup. And I am not a makeup expert. I've been avoiding sharing this information because, quite frankly, this has been trial and error over, 20, 30 years, however long I've been wearing makeup. But I thought, okay, I'll just show you guys what I do. It's nothing really special, but I do have a couple of products I really love, and so that could be helpful information. So I'm going to do my best. I've got the camera kind of angled in a way that I can look at this mirror, and because I can't really look in here and do my makeup very well. So first of all, I'm always told what beautiful skin I have, and while yes, I have really fairly clear skin and pretty wrinkle-free for being 48 in a couple of months, you can see I have very uneven skin. It's years of sun. I mean, I've never really protected my skin, and I used to tan a ton. I still tan a little bit, but not like I used to. So makeup really helps that. So let's just get right into this. My makeup takes me 10 minutes roughly every day to do, 10 to 15 depending, but I don't really change my makeup up a lot, and I don't do a lot of fancy makeup. I just like kind of the basics. So first of all, a product that I cannot live without is this kabuki brush, and I will link any product that I can link in the description. I'll link. And I don't have any affiliate codes. I get nothing for this. It's just products over time that I've discovered that I love. And this kabuki brush, says it's a flat kabuki. I actually get this on Amazon, and I love it. This is my second one because the first one sort of came apart. I wash it periodically in water. I kind of submerge it. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that, but the first one lasted me a couple of years, and this is Lamora brand. So anyway, there's probably other great kabuki brushes out there. I just know that I really like this. So a real key to getting my skin to look even is using this brush to put on foundation. So I don't think I have an example of my favorite foundation. Let me just double check here. But I will link, oh yeah, at least the brand. My favorite is just L'Oreal True Match. That's my favorite foundation. And right now I'm using this stuff, which is actually mostly L'Oreal True Match. So I'm pretty notorious for mixing foundations. I don't like to throw anything away, and if I get a foundation I don't love, I try to make it into something I love. And this, I don't even know what brand it is. Maybelline Fit Dewy Plus Smooth. I didn't love this one, but over time I have mixed in my favorite foundation, and now I don't have any idea what percentage these are, but so I just take the brush and I get foundation on it. And this is actually probably starting to get a little dark for my skin. I haven't been tanning as much, but the beautiful thing is it just blends so well. You can see how different that looks there, but it's gonna look fine once I get it all over. And I put it all over my face. I just kind of do a little bit at a time. You can also put some on your finger, some foundation, and kind of dot it. I've done that as well. And then use the brush to get it on your skin. Again, this is what works for me. I actually haven't watched makeup tutorials really, so I don't know if somebody who knows what they're doing with makeup would watch what I do and think, what in the world is she doing? But this is what works for me, and so I'm gonna stick with what I know. Okay, that last dunk got almost too much foundation on it. Make sure I kind of go like this. I have on Violet by Estetica right now. I have not reviewed Violet, but I like to wear her on weekends I don't usually wear a wig when I put makeup on, so maybe I shouldn't have actually worn her, but I dropped my daughter off at school she's a football manager, and they have 2-a-days right now, and so I just threw a wig on, but, okay. So that looks pretty good. Notice it blended in really well. When it first went on my skin, it looked really dark, kind of yellowish for my skin at the time, but now I think it looks pretty good. And already, see how much more even my skin tone is? It just made a huge difference. So then, and I think I may do this part backwards because I thought, oops, I dropped something. I thought I saw somewhere that you're supposed to use like powder to set at the end. I like to do it right after I put on the foundation. And right now, I'm just using this Maybelline Fit Me. It's a loose finishing powder. I have it in medium deep right now. I don't have any preference for this. Sometimes I use the compact powder, not loose powder. I don't have any loyalty to anything for this part. It just kind of depends. I wanted to try this one and it works for what I need. So that's what I'm using. Everything I use I can get at Walgreens or CVS or on Amazon. I don't use drugstore stuff, or I don't go out to Ulta for makeup. I just don't spend a lot of money on makeup. I spend enough money on wigs. So I use this big fat, it says it's a powder brush. I don't know if you can see. I don't think it matters. Whatever. It's just this big fat brush. I don't know where I got this. I was trying to tell a wig sister about something, and I looked on Amazon to see if I could find this in my orders, and I couldn't. So I don't know where I got it, but a big fat powder brush works just fine. All right, so that's the powder. Now, I use bronzer almost all year round, really. Maybe a lighter color bronzer in the winter, or just a little bit less. But this one's L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It. I don't know, I got it at Walgreens. And is it a certain color? I don't know. It's a medium. So I have this fat little brush that I use to put on bronzer, and I just go like this. Little on my eyelids, just to give it a little bronze. It's not really, maybe a little on my nose. Right here I like to do, and that's pretty much it. I don't do this every day, but sometimes I'll do this. I do have this Maybelline Master Bronze. It's got like multiple colors in it. I will use this occasionally to give be like a blush on my face. I'm trying to find my blush brush. I have just a smaller brush. And so I'll just use a darker, and I'll kind of just go like this, a little bit more concentrated. But quite honestly, I rarely do this. So when you see videos of me, I probably don't even have this on. One thing I do like to do sometimes though is there's a really light kind of a highlight color. I kind of like to put a little on my nose. Just on the bridge of my nose. Sometimes I'll do it like this. But I like the way that kind of, I don't know, gives a little highlight on the nose. So I do that sometimes. So now I put on eyeshadow. So again, I don't have any favorite eyeshadows. I've got a CoverGirl eyeshadow here. I have an LA Colors eyeshadow. I tend to like to mix a few colors when I put eyeshadow on. I'm more just trying to go for a certain effect, not, I don't even know how to describe this part. That's why I wasn't sure if doing a tutorial would be helpful. But I like to use a really light color, like a almost white, to go over the whole eyelid. And actually the one I really liked was in this CoverGirl, and I used it up. You can see I've used most of this one. So I don't really have one right now that I love for going over my eyelid, but I just go over my whole eyelid with like a really light color to start. Not super dramatic, but just a little bit there. And I use just a fat brush. Then I tried to pull out all the brushes that I use. I use just this is a Maybelline shadow brush, but I just use a brush like this, and I go over the edges with a dark, or kind of the crease, I guess, with a dark color. I'm using this dark brown right here. I'm not sure if I can make this work without looking over here. And this is gonna not look great at first, but then I end up blending a lot of other color. So just like that, and really kind of just there. And I know I've seen Leanne do a couple of tutorials, and she uses these little like pieces of contoured paper that she sticks under to catch the eyeshadow that drops. Sometimes you get a little bit of eyeshadow that kind of falls on your face. I just go like this with my powder brush if that happens, and actually I usually get a little extra. That seems to work, but I'm not using heavy amounts of eyeshadow, so that works for me. Then I use another brush. I don't even know if I'm using these brushes correctly. I just pick out brushes that seem to work. And then I've been using like a pink. I have these two, pink and a kind of a maroon purple, maybe more of a burgundy. And I just kind of go in the middle like this to start blending a little bit. And this, I mean, seriously, this is all just trial and error. But then it doesn't make that part look so harsh. So that's all I do there. And then I've got this color right here. It's kind of a bronze color. And I go in it gives a shimmer. I go in the crease. And then I go up like this with it. And then that blends the colors even more. And that might be it for the eyeshadow. Now I feel like I've got fuzz or something on me. I have a fan on in here so I don't get too terribly hot. Okay, so now I'm going to put on a little eyeliner, and depending on the day, normally for work I use kind of a brown eyeliner. I'm really loving these NYX eyeliners. I have a whole bunch of different colors, but I usually put it, this is gonna be hard to do in my phone, kind of on the outside. I don't line my whole eye. And I don't line my waterline typically during the week for work or for everyday wear. I used to, but as I'm getting older, I'm finding I just think it looks better when I don't. Otherwise, my eyes look smaller. But if I'm gonna go out and I want something more dramatic, I might line my lower lid, but I would also probably put a lot more makeup on my upper lid. So that just kind of like what I just did there, just a little bit. And now this is, for me, I think this is key. And it pulls the whole eye look together. I have these NYX, they're called NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils. And I have a couple of different, this one's in the color Yogurt, and it's kind of a shimmery. I also have one in the color Strawberry Milk, and it's kind of a pink. Any of these kind of shimmery lighter colors would be good. But then I just go to the inside to the middle, and then that's what I put on the underside to give some brightness. I can't see very well. So inside to kind of the middle. And I get it a little bit on my eye too, so it's not just like lining my eye, but I think that is absolutely key to brightening up my eyes. You know, I'm, like I said, almost 48, and so I feel like my eyes need some brightening. So I do that. Sometimes I'll put a little bit more of the darker if I lined it really far over or I feel like it messed that up, but so that's all my eye makeup. That's all I do for eye makeup. I don't use primer. I have primer and I just never use it. I don't know if it works any better than for me because I'm not going nuts on the eye makeup. So now I just put on mascara. And I do have a favorite mascara. This Rimmel Scandalize. I love this mascara. I get it. You can get it. I was buying it at Walgreens. They may not be carrying it there anymore, but I found it on Amazon on Subscribe and Save and for less than $5, I think, or around $5. So it's super cheap mascara, but I love it. For years and years, my criteria for a mascara is a curved brush. I use curved brushes. I think they work the best for my eyelashes. I don't like to curl my eyelashes. I've done it. Again, to me, it's an extra step that doesn't give me much bang for my buck. But I feel like these curved mascara brushes really do help. And you can see I don't have super long eyelashes. They're pretty fine, like all the hair. This one's starting to get really low. But so basically, I put on, see, now I thought I got it on my eye. I don't know. This is going to be the hardest part for me to do without messing up. So I'm going to look over here. But I put it on and I curve the brush. I go through and I curve the brush. Trying to create a little bit of a curl in my eyelash to swoop it up. And sometimes I'll go and I'll hold it for a second and then I'll push it up. I'll kind of close my eye against it because I'm trying to get my eyelashes to curve. Can you see already? And I usually put on multiple coats. I also am pretty notorious for combining mascaras. So I do have this Maybelline Great Lash. I'm not in love with it, but I do like it for sometimes like a second layer. It's a very small curved brush, but then I might go over that. I just gauge how things are going. So go on to the next eye. And then I sometimes blink into it. See how I'm doing that? So now I'll go back to the other eye, and this one's been drying a little bit. So now I'll do another coat. Until I'm satisfied. Look at how much that improved my sparse eyelashes. And then I'll do a little bit on my lower lash line too. Got hair somewhere there. Oh, sorry guys, I have like hair that's getting into the mascara. And I got a little down here, so I just keep a little cloth. I gotta tell you guys about these cloths too, because they're awesome. And now I'll just do a little bit on the lower lash. And I won't get more mascara on. I'll use it after I've done this, just to put a little bit on the lower lash. Then it almost looks like I've lined my lower lids very lightly. And so for the final thing that I do, after I put on mascara, because sometimes I do get a little mascara, just a tiny bit, either right around here. I have this stuff that I don't think they carry anymore. It was I don't even know what brand it is anymore. It's worn off. But I just love this stuff. It's lasted me years because I use barely any. But it's kind of a shimmery. And then I put a little here. It's just really shimmery. And then a little here. Now it just adds shimmer to that liner I used. And that's it. That's my eyes. That's how I do my eye makeup. So, okay. So I've done my foundation, all my face stuff. Looks like I got a little something here. And then I just sometimes go over it one more time with just my powder brush. I don't put more powder on it. I just kind of, in case I got, any eyeshadow that migrated or anything like that. And so then, eyebrows. My eyebrows are very sparse, as you can see. I have you, and I'm not an eyebrow person. I just fill them in a little bit. And so I do have an eyebrow pencil somewhere. I sometimes will use the eyebrow pencil. It's just a L'Oreal Brow Stylist. But I actually lately have been using this, my Joan Rivers Great Day Hair Powder for my eyebrows, and it works so great. So I just bought one of these. It was like a multi-pack I got on Amazon for really cheap. And so I just used the brush end and I just dip it in. So I'm using the blonde. Blonde is brown. I'm using the blonde, and that's plenty dark for my eyebrows. And then I usually go like this, and I just start to fill in. I extend them out just a little bit this way. So I just kind of go, but where I have issues is right here. I read somewhere that your eyebrows are supposed to kind of, the length of them are supposed to match your eye, and that the front end here is supposed to go to the corner of your eye. So mine kind of don't. I have a little bit of a gap here. So I try to just create a little bit more eyebrow there with the brush. So it's extended a little bit. I'm gonna look over here for a second, because it's hard to do that in my phone. I'm not trying to make them super thick. I'm just basically enhancing what's already there. Okay, that's pretty much what I do with my eyebrows. You can see the difference. It's not dramatic, but it's definitely, this is a lot sparser than this one. And I'll go over it with this. Sometimes I'll use a tiny bit of Vaseline, and just if I've got some wayward eyebrows. I don't really pluck my eyebrows. I don't know. Eyebrows have never been my thing. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is very, very hard to do on the phone. That's it. I love this Great Day hair powder for this. It works great, lasts all day. And maybe one more. And something I do is I use one of these. These are makeup remover washcloths. I got them on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon. And I love them. They are so good. They remove eye makeup way better than regular washcloths. I don't know why. They're kind of a microfiber. Mine are getting a little old, but I use a lot of I make a homemade face wash with essential oils and witch hazel and Castile soap and some different things. And if I use these, my eye makeup comes off with very little like rubbing and everything. But if I use a regular washcloth, I often can't get all my eye makeup off without using eye makeup remover. So I love them. But I'll take one of these, like the one maybe that I'll use tonight. It's a clean one. And I go over this part of my face. I go over between my eyebrows because powder kind of collects in those places and looks a little overdone. Can you see right there? I just take a little bit of the excess makeup off. And I look to see, do I need any? Because you'll see it's kind of a little heavy. And it's because I put on foundation and then I put on loose powder and then I put on bronzer and I don't want it to be too heavy. So I just kind of go over and that's it. So the final thing, and it's the lip stuff that fell, is a little bit of lip stuff. So I like lip crayons. This one is Jordana Twist and Shine Moisturizing Balm Stain. Really cheap. And so I like just doing this. That's what I do. I don't put on any lipstick, really. I don't really own lipstick. I own lip liners. I mean, just grabbing a handful. I have a ton of like these kinds of things for lips. And so sometimes I'll have people ask me, what do I have on my lips in a video? I have, literally handfuls of stuff. Because I usually buy like the $1.50 lip stuff. And so I often don't remember what I put on. But sometimes I'll take a darker little liner and I'll just line my lips. Just a little bit. To give some dimension to the lip stain stuff. Okay, wow, almost 30 minutes. Obviously I'm talking and I'm showing and all of that. That's why this took longer, but I have timed myself and it takes me between 10 and 15 minutes to do my makeup depending on the morning. And then I whip my wig on and then I'm good to go. So that's it. And you can already see how different my face looks from when I started. It's just not as blotchy. And so I definitely think just a little bit of makeup can really help. And the brush is key. So I think that's it. So hopefully this was what you guys were looking for when you've asked. And again, I'll link anything that I can in the description box. And so that if you're interested in like trying out a brush or something like that, you can easily find it. All right, guys, so this was by request. That I would have never done this if I hadn't gotten, I probably had 10 to 15 people ask me to do this. So here you go. If you're one of them, I hope this is what you were looking for. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll be talking to you soon.